Hello and welcome to the ScrubPod podcast, a Magic the Gathering talk show that seeks to provide high quality entertainment. I'm your host, Andy, and today I'm joined by Derek.
Hi, I'm Derek.
Hi Derek, how you doing today?
I'm great. I started playing Magic about a year ago. I'd say around May 2024, right around when Thunder Junction picked up, and my close friend group started playing. We were all getting Commander Precons. We all bought one from the new set, and we tested it out. It was a lot of fun, and over the past year of playing games in different formats of like Jumpstart and Modern, I've come to really appreciate the creativity and the art and the community. Andy, you've kicked my butt for a long time.
I really have.
So I think because of you and a lot of other really great players, I've gotten a better creative vision for the decks that I want to play, and I have so many decks that I play now. I haven't branched out off of Commander very much, but I do enjoy some Jumpstart.
Yeah, how many Commander decks do you say you have built right now?
Oh, I think I have about 8 active decks that I play that I swap out. There's a lot. It's mostly black or red or some combination of those both.
Black or black and red, or black red X?
Yeah.
Yeah. You like the type of aggro-ish spellslinger?
I love combo aggro. Rakdos the Muscle's my favorite commander right now. Glarb, Augur's Calamity is my homeboy. I love frogs. Quasar, Augur of Agonies. I love calamities. Yeah, there's a lot. Tywakeen. She's another Thunder Junction legendary creature who makes you build decks in a fun way. Yeah, I absolutely love Commander, and I'm always cooking up a new deck.
Well, speaking of Commander and cooking, I brought you onto the show for one reason, and that you are a fellow dungeon master in the game of Dungeons & Dragons.
That is correct.
Yeah, we've been playing for years.
Yeah, since high school.
Yeah, since 10 years ago.
Yeah.
It's a scary how long ago it was. Like 8-ish? Almost a decade.
It does make you feel old.
It really does. We've been playing a children's game for many, many years.
We are playing Advanced Pretend, and I think we've gotten really good at the mechanics of it.
Exactly. But right now, what I've been doing a lot of the times is I've been taking a lot of my Magic decks, and I've slowly been trying to turn them into D&D arcs to surprise you guys with.
Whoa.
And so, like, I'll give you an example. So, this is the time I was playing Yuma Proud Protector. So it was a desert deck that sought to sacrifice my lands, keep bringing them back over and over again. And I decided I wanted to do a D&D themed campaign in a desert. There's various people in the desert that had different relationships with the land. Like there was a Yuma, who's like a cowboy protector that knows everything about the cactuses and the flora and the fauna, and offers as like a guide for the party while they have to go and fight various monsters that are part of like that are part of the desert. Stuff like a Ramanop excavator, or like a snake archaeologist group that seek to uncover like a lost treasure in like the desert, or rampaging Baloths, where the longer you play more lands, the more and more of a herd swarms. And as always, the Scoot Swarm. Speaking of the Swarm.
I love Scoot Swarm.
Yeah, Scoot Swarm is such a fun card. It is a very Johnny card that just rewards you for just really loving the game of Magic. That's my favorite genre of card, is just cards that say, hey, if you play the game of Magic, good, here's a cookie. Here's a 1/1. That makes more 1/1s.
Thematically, I've had this question for a while, and I wonder if you can answer it. When a player plays a land in Magic, when you're adding to the board state, I wonder how that would look. So if you're in your D&D campaign and you're doing Scoot Swarms and Baloths, is it just a matter of time that this catches up and these creatures swarm you? Or is it like the further you go into the den and the more you explore, the more they show up.
See, the way I have been looking at it for years is I always imagine it kind of like the end of Avatar: Last Airbender with the fight between Fire Lord Sozin and Aang. They're in a plague. They're in like an area with all four elements at their disposal very easily. So I imagine it's two wizards in a battleground surrounded by like that's also like a plains, a swamp, an island, a mountain, and a forest, and they are just trying to focus and hone in onto like one part of the magic in order to get mana. They're like trying to get attuned with the land, and it's kind of like a rush. It's kind of like you have to focus and find your calm in the middle of like this war, and like the other person's doing the same thing too. So you have like a little time just to like set up and get like, all right, I need to really tap into the mountains in the distance and feel like the air, or maybe I get closer to them, and then I can make like my big.
My eyes glow green as I hold my scoot in my hand, and the evolving wilds beneath my feet crack as two more bugs
The seep
erupt.
in.
Yeah, they erupt from the ground beneath me as the swarm begins to fly up in the air and surround my opponent.
You play more, find more and more lands, and as you're trudging through, you're just pushing beetles out, and you're
Yeah,
throwing them at your enemy wizard. It's That's how I see it.
I like that.
There's a lot of attempts to try and make like Magic the Gathering into like more of a story based system. Like I remember when I got into Magic when I was in like middle school, my dad, who was huge into Dungeons and Dragons in the 70s, 80s, he was like, "Oh, so do you like start in like a tavern? You go from here?" I'm like, "No, this is more like chess than Dungeons and Dragons."
Yeah, for sure.
And that lost all of this interest in Magic.
Sometimes I like to create scenes with my friends at the table in Commander. I remember when I first started playing, I think I exiled Scott's commander and he made a 2/2 boar. And then later in the game, he recast his commander and then he toppled over me with this giant dust elemental. And we were joking around about Gonti running away, Indiana Jones style, while Kiri's sitting on the board that's running on the giant tumbleweed that's chasing him around the desert. And I think that was pretty magical, and I love creating scenes like that in my head. I think the point between Dungeons and Dragons and Magic the Gathering is what you put into it with your imagination and laughing it out and like having these conversations and like improv building scenes with your friends at the table, you know.
Yeah, that's always what I'm a huge fan of when it comes to Magic is just like all these kind of ridiculous fantasy scenarios that come to mind, and just all like these really silly plays and cards. There was a Twitter account that I'm looking for because this stuff comes up naturally. There was a Twitter account that would draw judge calls.
Oh.
So if you're at like a judge at a tournament and they'd be like, "Hey, what is the interaction between these two cards?" Like people would talk about it online, and this person would just go ahead and try and draw it. And so like there's like a lot of illustrations of just like various wizards being attacked by birds.
And that account is MTG Flavor Judge Drawings, which is at flavorjudgedraw.bluesky.social. Give them a follow right there for some really fun and creative content.
Trying to invite my coworkers to play Magic. There's another guy I work with also named Derek who is a huge D&D fan, but he tried it in college, but his friends didn't take it seriously. And I feel like D&D, like you have people who play Magic where you're bracket 1 and 2 exclusively, where you're like, this is my silly deck. I'm here to play silly things. I'm not really trying to win, but if I do win, it's cool. And then on the other end of the spectrum, it's like min-max D&D players who show up to different events to just play the game and like do the combat and dungeon crawls, and people who like take their characters like way too seriously. Maybe not like full of themselves, but like are more mechanically inclined, you know?
They care more about winning than
Yeah, they want to win Dungeons and Dragons, whereas Dungeons and Dragons is more about having fun with your friends and playing pretend versus Magic has the capacity to do that, but it's more inclined, like you said, in chess, where it's like there's a distinct winner and loser.
Yeah, and in Magic is one of those games that Commander specifically, unfortunately, has to have a winner,
Yes.
which is appealing to some, appealing to none. But it's also like if you really are competitive about Magic, you're not playing casual Commander.
I agree.
Like if there's a lot of pub stompers out there that just build decks that are not competitively viable. They don't go to tournaments. They just want to win, and it feels very much like the tallest kid on the playground beating everyone up at Foursquare.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, but you can actually just go to like a YMCA and play a pickup game.
True. I have had a lot of games where I've learned to adjust my expectations, where I was sitting with somebody who was kind of like pub stomping, or they played a deck that was very difficult to interact with.
It was usually me.
It was usually you. And so there would be sub goals I'd want to do in my games, right? I knew I couldn't win, but I knew if I could get my mimeoplasm to look like a disgusting monster by the end of the game or steal someone else's commander somehow, I could be like, I did it. I win. I'm cool. Like, maybe not I win, but I won for me.
You did the thing.
Exactly. I did the thing.
You know, my things usually involve winning the games, but now I'm trying to, like, I went through a big pub stomping phase where I was like, because I mostly played with my friends. And,
Yeah.
and like, you're allowed to pub stomp your friends. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. Play your high-powered decks against your friends. They're your friends. They won't leave you so easily. Strangers, different story.
Yeah, when you're paying to meet up and play with people, you're kind of all there setting the expectations with each other. And I think that when you invest time to go out like that, you're absolutely right. You shouldn't be at a bracket 3 pod with a CEDH deck.
If you go to your commander event, you're paying just to hang out, be forced to hang out with 3 other people. That's how I see it. Like, you got to hang out with them, and you got to it's got to be a pleasant experience. I've played games with people that are self-proclaimed assholes that are like, and I'm like, isn't this deck so mean? And I'm like, yeah, why were you doing that? We're in bracket 2. I'm playing I'm playing like a silly deck. I'm playing Golgari vehicles. I am trying to just
The most common archetype for Golgari.
exactly all 0 death touch vehicles.
Yeah, making, of course, all dude, not Sultai, not Abzan, just Golgari vehicles.
Golgari vehicle
Specifically with Death Touch.
Yeah, I have to get him death touch somehow. Someone has to be the one to cast Veraska joins up the most, and that person's gonna be me.
I love Thunder Junction. You know what we've done together?
What have we done?
You and I both went to do Dungeons and Dragons with strangers.
We did do that.
We had such a great time with that, although the encounter we could have missed, but somebody got excited to fight the guard dogs and this session ran too late. But that was another experience where you pay to sit down with strangers and have a good time.
Yeah, that was a really good time. That was fun. Honestly, I think we were in a brewery when we were doing this, and I think having a couple drinks.
Yeah.
And it was more just like hanging out with, like, it's easy to talk to strangers at bars. It's weirder to talk to strangers at magic stores, just because I think there is a true stereotype about social interaction with Magic players.
Absolutely. When you get people who either are like socially awkward or kind of not used to having interaction about the game and are like used to different settings, you get some weird conversations. My job is to talk to strangers every day. I work in a restaurant, so I have no problem breaking the ice, getting introductions out of the way, getting everyone's name and trying to feel everybody out and see where we're at. But some people don't know how to do that. It's not an easy skill,
It's so tough. It's a muscle you got to really train.
Absolutely.
And when I worked in restaurants too. I worked in a lot of jobs. But all of my jobs kind of center around talking around people because, that's what life's all about. Is it not? You're going to talk to people. Why would you want to be alone? Can't play solitaire Magic all day long. Well, actually, you could if you're a tournament grinder on MTGO, but even then, you get to be like really mean to people in chat.
Yeah. When I'm goldfishing in my room, the only person I could be mean to in chat is me. I'm sitting there at my desk and I'm, Judge, I think this guy's cheating.
Judge, slow play. That's me when I'm in like the shower and not playing Magic, or when I'm brushing my teeth and not playing Magic, or exercising and not playing Magic.
Oh my gosh, when I'm not playing Magic and I call the judge over for a misplay,
Honestly, we should get judges for just everyday life.
I think those are the police.
Yeah, no. These people don't have guns.
Oh, okay.
Like all they could do is just kind of issue you like a game. They can only issue you a game loss, really, match loss, maybe even a DQ, but not like they can't like arrest you or shoot you or do anything bad.
When I get DQ'd from the ShopRite for stepping out of line by 2 inches.
I got I got a match loss for public urination.
Oh no.
It was quite embarrassing.
Yeah, I can imagine the judge wasn't very happy about that.
There was just a guy whose building I was peeing on. They just like held up their hand and just goes, "Judge," and we waited there for about 3 hours before my judge friend Ryan just came sprinting down.
Yeah, Ryan pissed. 3 hours of running just to get there.
Yeah, judges are unbelievable. You know, they can do all sorts of things. In order to be a level 2 judge, you have to run the American Ninja Warrior course. Did you know that?
Have you ever considered becoming a judge?
I have, yeah. That's a dark dream of mine. Usually I'm someone that knows a lot of the game. So if I'm like the most experienced person, I'm usually the most experienced person in the room when I play Magic. And so people just come up to me with judge questions. And so I feel like that is judge enough, but I've not done any exams and I definitely get a lot more wrong with the game than I get right.
That's fair.
But I give convincing answers. My rule with like judges and rulings and stuff like that, especially in casual, is like if you don't know if you don't know how a rules interaction, and it's gonna take a while to figure it out, just make one decision, play on, and then end the game. And once the game's done, you can look up all the rules, and you're like, oh, okay, we did this wrong. You win with an asterisk.
Oh yeah, I mean when you're playing casually, it's not the end all be all. But like if you're at a tournament, then yeah, you have the judges there for that reason.
Exactly. You have the judges there to stop your opponent from publicly urinating.
Yeah.
Hopefully, honestly.
Not the mental misstep I was hoping for, you know.
Judge, they have 59 cards in their library and their pants are down.
Their pants are down and soaking wet.
Yeah.
Please send them home.
You ever mental misstep someone's soul ring and then they piss their pants?
Oh my gosh, I played Insatiable Avarice last night. Me and Kara, my girlfriend, were playing a game, and she hit me with mental misstep, and she was like, "I'm so sorry to counter your spell and the technicality, but it is mana value 1," and I was pretty salty. We have CEDH decks now that are proxied, so she can keep up with my decks and bully me. Which is great because she's someone who's very passionate about the game, has great style, is also in our D&D groups, and she has a hard time with playing with us because you, me, and Scott are always looking to the meta and trying to push our games forward, and like we're in this arms race together, so we don't get pub stomped as hard.
Yeah, I have what I call the cruel tutelage technique when it comes to getting people into Magic, where I become a villain to them.
Yes.
And I'm like the I play with people. I teach people how to play, and I play with them. But then I have to keep winning, so that way their drive for winning gets even higher and higher.
It's true. At parties, people literally are screaming, clapping,
They
and
cheered
rejoicing.
when I lost.
Yes.
They applauded. They lauded. It was a celebration. It was no longer Koi's birthday. It was the day I was defeated.
Yes.
And that, that's a double-edged sword for me. Because on one hand, like, oh, these people are just preying on my downfall. They are hoping for the worst. But also at the same time, like, I rose to that level of high where the fall is this great. It's just
They became heroes just for one day.
just one day, never again.
Not anytime soon.
Yeah, I got
Got your Grixis bully deck.
my Grixis bully deck, my Kess. Okay, I'm going infinite now. Sometimes when I want to build like a really bad combo deck, I just put the commander's name in commander spellbook and just put in every single combo I could find. Like every card that combos with it or synergizes with it.
Is that what you do? Is that how you make me cry at the table?
No. This is like sometimes when I want to build a deck that's just okay, I'm gonna go infinite. Like I'll put it in like cast and like here's the most commonly played instants and sorceries. Cast goes infinite with like Nexus of Fate. Okay, what other cards go infinite with Nexus of Fate? Oh, Reiterate, Dualcaster Mage, Clone Legion, like all these random spells, and I just keep adding them into it until it makes. And then I have like decks that are suddenly just like hundreds of A plus B like 50 A plus B combos.
Wait, can you just blink Kess over and over and over and over again and like have a giant storm count?
Not really. You could do. There's a lot of ways to get Infinite Storm, and this deck. The most easiest way though is just Chain of Smog, which for our listeners that don't know, I gotta start actually telling what these cards do. And so
Psh, no, they already know it. They have the internet.
they already do. I assume you all have Scryfall open while I'm doing this, but Chain of Smog is a 1 in a black for a sorcery. Target player discards 2 cards. That player may copy the spell and may choose new targets for that copy. So it's part of the same cycle of Chain of Vapor from Onslaught. And what it does is basically, it says target player discards 2 cards. Okay, so you target yourself. You discard 2 cards, and then you may copy it. You discard 2 cards. Eventually you're going to have no cards in hand. But it doesn't say stop if you don't have cards in hand. It just says they have to discard.
Oh yes, you
Yeah.
just no hands.
So you can just you'll have no hand, but you can just keep targeting yourself, and that's Infinite Storm. And your cast.
Oh great!
And
then with Kess, you can cast a spell from your graveyard with Storm, and then just go off.
Kinda. It's not technically not Infinite Storm because
Oh, 'cause it's a copy.
Because it's a copy, but it goes infinite with like Magecraft triggers.
Oh yeah,
So
yeah.
the big combo in CEDH is Chain of Smog, Witherbloom Apprentice.
They
Or
make
whenever you cast
pests,
or
right?
copy, target opponent loses a life and you gain a life.
Oh, heard that.
And so but this is Grixis, so the biggest win con is Professor Onyx, which is a planeswalker that does the same thing as Witherbloom Apprentice, but it's 2 life and gain 2 life. Drain 2, gain 2. Sedgemoor Witch, or whenever you cast or copy, you get a 1/1. So you just make it board of infinite 1/1s. Stormkilled Artist, you get infinite treasures.
Yes.
And then you can have cast like a wheel from your graveyard to find like a bigger answer.
Or a big burn spell.
Big burn spell.
I love big burn spells. Infinite mana.
Ooh,
Big burn.
Big burn.
Crackle of power.
I will never be sad about losing a game of Commander to Comet Storm. I think that's the best card to lose a game of Magic to. You know that one?
No.
Comet Storm for X red. It's an instant with a multi-kicker 1. You may pay an additional 1 generic mana any number of times as you cast a spell. Choose any target. Then choose another target for each time the spell is kicked. Comet Storm deals X damage to each of them.
Oh my gosh.
So you pay red, and then 40 life, and 40 mana, and then you pay another 3 mana, so 43, so 45 total mana, to just deal 40 damage to each of your opponents.
I love that.
It's so clean. It's slick. It is an iconic card that it's probably in like my top 20 favorite cards of all time. It's one of those big spells that like wins commander games, like Exsanguinate.
Yes. Oh my gosh. I love my Cormella deck with Exsanguinate and Crackle of Power as the win condition, because I love the burn, but also the a sip here and a sip there, and suddenly I need a new dance partner, and just the vampire poetic suck everyone's life from their hit points, from their neck. And you gain like, I don't know, 120 life. It's
Yeah.
so good.
It's so good, but I do really love like the imagery of Comet Storm, where it's like, okay, you're seeping into like the mana, and you're just absorbing all of this energy, and it's just like put it up to the sky, and then suddenly a big bolt of light just falls down and then splits into three and just hits each of your opponents with like a giant comet. It just lands on them. Like that's pretty cool.
I love the giant space laser rock from the ether dropping down and crushing your best friend as you guys are hanging out.
That is a very flavorful card. My favorite flavorful card like that is Star of Extinction, where it's the meteor that killed all the dinosaurs.
That's how we got the Gulf of Mexico.
I mean,
Or in the year of our Lord 2025, according to Google, the Gulf of America.
it's actually it's the Gulf of Andy now. Did you know that? It's mine now.
Oh, finally.
Yeah, it's my Gulf. I won it.
You won it at LobsterCon.
Yeah, I won it at LobsterCon. Yeah, I was up against Donnie T, and he was on Pit Rack, and I hit him with Sacred Grounds and Spiritual Focus, and there was just nothing coming back from that.
Couldn't pay to win that game.
He tried, but he got game one. But I made the comeback with my sideboard. So.
See, this is why we need judges to stop people from peeing themselves at the table.
Mm-hmm.
So, would you ever consider recording some of the Dungeons and Dragons sessions from like Ashlands to incorporate into your podcast, since we're on the topic of Dungeons and Dragons today?
Maybe, but that's a lot harder to manage because I have two good microphones that work easily, and I studied sound engineering in college, and so I'm trying to make this as really good by my standards, which is a lot of hard work for one person. And I do not have the mental capacity or the energy to do that
Understand.
right now. I would love to. I have always tried to make a Magic the Gathering podcast, like a live play, but at the same time, just the idea of editing a 3-hour video of all of us playing Dungeons and Dragons, and it's just grating to think about right now for me. I'm struggling with just getting out of bed and like, all right, I got 1 hour audio to edit down to like an hour.
You know what? Since this is, we talk and they listen, I want to give the listeners some work to do. For anyone who plays Dungeons and Dragons and Magic the Gathering, all the listeners out there, take one of your Dungeons and Dragons characters from a campaign and build a Magic deck around them, whether it's in any format you want, really.
Yeah. Well, the set Legends was inspired by a D&D campaign.
Yeah, like Nicol Bolas was like the big bad, right?
Yeah, like Nicol Bolas was I think so, but like a lot of like players' characters or players in the world, like Caracas was the world that like the players like was a city the players went to that was run by Angus Mackenzie. And it was just like there's a whole lot of D&D. I don't think there's like a full story to Legends and like the D&D lore, but it was like that's the guys that were in charge of making that set are like, all right, let's just pull from our D&D campaign because it kind of fits. And you know what? It worked.
I think I was looking at some of the Fallout cards for inspiration for making a deck based around Nicholas Edwin Gates, my Dungeons and Dragons character in your campaign, Andy. The one where I play as somebody who survived nuclear fallout right around the middle or end of World War II. And I buried myself in the ground and survived and became this radiated ghoul monster zombie man. But I awoke with my sanity intact. And so I want to be able to have small cantrips and play spells for my graveyard, but have this like Dimir, maybe Voltron deck where I'm like finding ancient artifacts. I just want a shovel. I just want to slap a shovel on a zombie and hit someone in the head.
There is Gisa's favorite shovel, the real
Yes.
magic card. You can do shovel typal.
Shovel type deck would be so fun.
Shovel typal deck. I think we're gonna go look up some shovel-related Magic the Gathering cards, and we can come back to that after this message from our sponsors. And we are back with the ScrubPod podcast, providing high-quality edutainment. I am back with Derek. How are you doing, Derek?
I'm great.
Good. Because now we are doing the second part of this show where we now get to talk about something stupid in Commander that we were talking about a little bit right before the break. Shovel typal Commander.
So the one that I'm picking out for this is Corum the Undertaker, but with a optional side commander, is it Oreo or
Mr. Orfeo.
Orfeo from the streets of New Capenna, because both of these gentlemen have big shovels.
Big shovel energy going on right here. So I want to read what Corum the Undertaker does. So for 1 in Jund, so 1 black, red, green, for a 0/5 human warrior, Corum the Undertaker gets +X/+O, where X is the greatest power among creature cards in all graveyards. And whenever he attacks, each player mills a card. And during each of your turns, you may play a land and cast a spell from among cards in graveyards that were put there from the library this turn. So the deck is kind of telling us you want to play a lot of you want to play like stuff that mills everyone communally, but also like milling yourself is probably best, since you can probably put the best things into your graveyard that are really great at coming out of your graveyard. But we're not going to focus on that strategy. We're going to look on the shovel side of things.
We have cards like Shovel of Decapitation, Diagraph, Rebirth. You know, perfect payoff for milling everybody.
Yeah. Do you want to read what these cards do?
Yeah. Let's start with Shovel of Decapitation. It's actually a Colossus Hammer, but it is the Secret Lair drop that says equipped creature has +10/+10 and loses flying with equipped 8. It's a 1-cost shovel you can get out as early as turn 1. But, you know, throw some equipped spells in there, or like even just late game you need something to win.
Yeah. Card I'm looking at that's really cool is Cemetery Tampering.
Ooh.
It's a 2 and a black enchantment with Hideaway 5. And the art is showing a bunch of people burying someone alive. And so there's shovels in there. And it's Hideaway 5. And whenever this enchantment enters the battlefield, look at the top 5 cards of your library, exile one of them face down, then put the rest in the bottom of your library in a random order. And it says at the beginning of your upkeep, you may mill 3 cards. Then if there are 20 or more cards in your graveyard, you may play the exiled card without paying its mana cost. So this is just great because it's working alongside the mill strategy of your commander. So you mill 3 cards in your upkeep, and if you put a land and like a spell, you can just play both that turn. It's basically like drawing 3 cards.
I love that. I love all that value.
It's great value, and more importantly, it has shovels in it. It's got 2, I believe. Oh, 3, never mind.
Okay. 3 shovels?
3 shovels, and all on 1 card. 1 for each mana.
We have Diagraph Rebirth. The spell costs 1 less for each creature that died this turn. It's 3 generic, a black and a green for a sorcery. It says return target creature from your graveyard to the battlefield. Perfect because we're milling and you might not be able to cast some stuff. It's also got Gisa with a shovel pointing it like towards the moon with a bunch of zombies coming out. It's exactly what I'm going for.
Yeah, there's a lot of Gisa cards with a shovel. Her thing is shovels.
Yeah, it's her favorite shovel.
And she should be the thematic commander of a shovel deck, but Corum just has a lot more colors. And fun fact, there's actually exactly 100 cards as of this taping that have shovel in their art. Or spades, as it is on Scrabble.
Perfect.
But we're trying to do as many as we can. Not a lot of them are black. There's a good amount of red ones. Like a lot of, if you go down, there's a bunch of goblins that have shovels.
Goblin digging teams.
Goblin masons. We got a lot of goblins, but there's also some really cool ones. Like there's the new art for Gravebreaker Lamia, which is the secret layer, where it's actually like a little 3D illustration of like a stop motion, like
wow.
Yeah, of like this snake woman getting ready to do something to a dead body, but like there's like a carnival going on in the background, so it looks really cool, creepy. And that's a picture. That's like an actual photograph.
Oh yeah, I love this card for so many reasons. Not only is it a 4/4 with lifelink, because in black you're paying lots of life, it's also an entomb. It also spell cost reduction. And yeah, this art is insane.
Yeah. Gravebreaker Lamia is very similar to a Entomb in this deck, which also has a shovel. It's also art of someone digging up a or both. I say digging up. He's probably filling in a hole right now. He's burying something. And then search your library for a card, put that card into your graveyard, then shuffle your library. And that's very simple. With Quorum, you can kind of put. You don't even need the biggest powered creature to be on the battlefield. You can just make it into your graveyard where it's less likely to be dealt with.
Yeah, Yargle and
And-
Multani.
Yeah, just put Yargle and Ultani in there and have your commander attack for 18.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, there's so many ways in red, black, and green to
There's so many big, dumb creatures.
get big, dumb creatures. Oh, another great card that Andy just gave me today, Force of Savagery. A 2 generic and a green for a 8/0 with trample. It's an elemental. Perfect for Quorum.
Yeah, you can either put that into your graveyard or you can just cast it. It goes into your graveyard. It makes Quorum so big.
We made it work.
Oh, you know what's actually a really funny card? Strax, Sontran Nurse. For 3 red and a green for a 5/5 alien cleric with a vigilance and trample. And pay 2 and tap and sacrifice an artifact. Choose a player at random. When you do, Strax fights another target creature that player controls. And whenever Strax deals damage to a creature, you put a +1/+1 counter on Strax.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, he has a big old shovel above his head.
He is whacking people with a shovel.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Alien cleric with vigilance and trample. Yeah, he's fighting everybody. I'm loving this thematically for my D&D character, but also mechanically for the Magic deck.
Oh, this is actually perfect. The art for Stitcher's Supplier from Modern Horizons 3 Commander has a shovel in it. So that's good. Stitcher's Supplier, 1 mana, 1/1. When it enters or dies, mill 3 cards.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
Tomb Crawler from Thunder Junction. It's a 0/4 for 2 mana, and you can pay 2 to put a target card from your graveyard on the bottom of your library. Yeah, you had a great card you don't want to lose, or maybe a tutor you want to throw back in the mix.
Oh god, it's this deck might actually work because you know what works. You know what has a shovel in it in its original art. Shifting Woodlands.
Shifting Woodlands has a shovel in it?
Yeah, I'm looking at the art right now. It's like right in the foreground. But Shifting Woodlands is a land that enters tapped unless you control a forest, and taps for green and has Delirium 2/green. This land becomes a copy of target permanent card in your graveyard until end of turn. Activate only if there are 4 or more card types among cards in your graveyard. Which Shifting Woodlands is a broken Magic card. It is cracked. Just being able to like constantly have a Mirage Mirror as a land that can't be dealt with.
This is perfect, Andy. So part of my character's backstory is that I'm looking for these Eldrazi-like beings that I saw in the nuclear fallout. And so about a week or 2 ago, Andy and I were playing, and Andy used Shifting Woodlands to become a copy of Dark Depths to create Merit Lage, this 2020 flying Leviathan creature, which I would love to put both of those cards in this deck and have Secret Commander.
Have it secretly have like a land theme involved with this.
Yes,
You're
absolutely.
digging things up. Oh
we're digging up the land.
You're digging up the land, much like 2 cards actually, or 2 lands: Archaeological Dig and Buried Ruins. Archaeological Dig is a land from Invasion. Tap to add a colorless mana to your mana pool, and you can tap and sacrifice it to add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool. So it's a land that goes to your graveyard.
Oh, that's perfect.
As well as Buried Ruin, where it's pay 1, tap for colorless, but it also has pay 2 and tap, sacrifice it, return target artifact card from your graveyard to your hand. So when someone eventually deals with your Shovel of Decapitation, you can go right back to your hand.
I love it. And there's shovels in the art.
Mm-hmm. This shovel deck is real. Hold on.
We are really digging up some buried treasure here. No pun intended for the artifact buried treasure. Sacrifice buried treasure. Add 1 mana of any color. Yeah, this can definitely do some. Mayhem Devil doesn't have any shovels, but I think with the way that this deck is looking, that there might be a lot of sacrificing going on here.
Yeah, there's a lot of sacrificing, a lot of milling, I think. Just putting cards into your graveyard and then bringing them out. And you know what you could do with that? You can cast Ghoul's Night Out.
Yes.
For each player, choose a creature card in that player's graveyard. Put those cards onto the battlefield under your control. They're black zombies in addition to their other colors and types, and they gain Decayed. Like, this deck rules. You play a lot of cards with Gisa on them, but she's so cool. She's so sick. And we can't forget about the most iconic card with a guy on a shovel, and that's Gravedigger. For very iconic Magic card, been around for years. For 3 and a black, a 2/2 zombie, when it comes into play, you may return target creature card from your graveyard to your hand. It's literally digging up the dead.
That's perfect. That's a creature that I need from my graveyard that I milled back into my hand so I can cast it later. Or I can't cast it this turn or next turn. That's recursion, baby. That's a shovel on a card.
You could play Living Death.
Oh no.
That's such a good finisher. For 3 black, set aside all creature cards in all graveyards. Then each creature that is in play, then put each creature that is currently in play into its owner's graveyards. Then put each creature card set aside in this way into play under its owner's control. So you do the old switcheroo of the creatures in your graveyards, go on the battlefield. The creatures on the battlefield go into the graveyard.
That card, the first time I saw it was in the Lord of the Rings precon with Sauron, Hosts of Mordor. And that deck also has red and black where you're throwing big mean guys in the graveyard or cycling people in there, creatures in there to then whip them back out, take all 3 of your opponent's board states, at least all the creatures, and then put them in the ground. The only problem I see with that is Korra milling everybody, but if you're discarding cards and milling and entombing, I think we're gonna be one shovel ahead of them.
1 shovel at a time. Oh, you can Loaming Shaman to put stuff back into your graveyard. From your graveyard into your library for 2 and a green for 3/2. When it comes into play, target player shuffles any number of target cards from his or her graveyard into his or her library.
Oh my gosh.
There's so much you can do with shovels in this format, in this game. I did not realize this. We are about to embark on a shovel renaissance soon. We're going to be really digging up the past here.
I can't wait to see the look on your face, maybe in like 2 weeks from now when I come back with a fully decked out shovel deck.
I'm gonna deserve it, you know? Like, I'm glad to lose in Magic the Gathering, but losing to shovels, that's gonna be such a...
It's gonna be so satisfying when I bonk you metaphorically in the head with my Magic the Gathering shovels.
I'm gonna get shoveled.
I'm gonna bury you alive, Andy.
You know the Mystery Men?
No, I think that's why they're a mystery.
Mystery Men is a movie from 1999. Ben Stiller basically creates a team of misfit superheroes. And William H. Macy, the dad from Shameless.
Oh, yeah.
He plays a superhero called the Shoveler.
No.
And he just like hits people with shovels.
Yes.
This movie was very bad, but so fun and so iconic. You know what movie? I think this movie had like a tie-in, or it was like the music video specifically. I remember because there's a scene in the movie where they're auditioning, like different superheroes, for just whoever and they're rejecting a lot of people, and the music video for All Star by Smash Mouth is the scene where like they start rejecting superheroes, and then the lead singer All Star just comes up and he's like, "All right, so what's your superpower?" And then he just shrugs, and then it just kicks off the music.
That's where that's from?
This is from Mystery Men, yeah.
Whoa. I've seen that music video.
It's an iconic music video. If you went to high school circa 2015 to 2019, that video was everywhere. If you were in like the circle that I was running with, which was a lot of people that had a lot of trouble talking to friends.
Yeah, I was definitely in that circle between 2016 to 2018, and then I graduated.
That it was that time when it was just deep fried memes were funny before the and I oop and I oop and I oop.
Yeah, that was definitely a great age for memes. Unfortunately, in the year 2016, Harambe had been shot in the Cincinnati Zoo.
They killed that gorilla.
And
Heartbreaking.
I'm not over it.
I don't want to say a lot of worse things have happened.
Yes, there have been worse things, but that in particular.
But this feels like a domino, you know?
I'm very passionate about that. Yes, that was for many a signifier that we are in the dark timeline.
There's a lot of things wrong with this timeline. 2016 was a bad year. And everyone's like, every year's a bad year. We're like, no, 2016 was like the first, oh, this is a bad year. And it's just gone on since.
Yeah, for sure. I think our saving grace, or at least our saving distraction in the meanwhile, has been our Dungeons and Dragons group surviving from high school through college to now the modern day.
Yeah, we definitely use D&D as a way to escape the troubles of our generation right now.
I'm actually really thankful that we had this outlet and this pre-existing community, although not all of the members from when we first started here, but I think the select few that are still local and in close to our hearts are still here with us, and I'm forever thankful to be rolling dice and having laughs and making up stories with you and our friends, Andy.
Oh, why thank you. That's so sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm so excited to build a Magic the Gathering deck about it.
About shuffles.
About shoveling and my Dungeons and Dragons character.
Yeah, I have a lot of D&D deck ideas I want to build for my campaign, for our friend Charlene's campaign, that are based around... honestly, I could make that right now.
Yes, with the gingerbread man.
Yes, I have a fairy tale... I'm in a fairy tale D&D campaign where my character's the Muffin Man, and he has a giant gingerbread man that's a construct that follows him around and attacks people with him.
I'm playing as Pinocchio in that game as well, and there's been some controversy about the giant half-sentient cookie man and the little wooden not a real boy, and how their inhumanity interacts with the rest of the human world. And I think we've become a lot closer from that.
We definitely have like a weird reflection where we're on the two sides of the spectrum, where one's a construct with sentience and one's not.
Yes.
But ever since I've started this campaign, I've wanted to build Bernard a Ginger Sculptor for so long.
I think it's time.
I really do got to build a Bernard deck, but I don't want to be like... I got to figure it out, because I don't want it to be Golem type-ul.
Oh no, just
like I gotta put it all like my sweets and my snacks and my foods.
Yeah, it's definitely gonna be a food deck through and through. You know, I think it's got to be in the vein of bracket 2.
Oh yeah, bracket 2, or maybe even bracket 3.
Yeah,
maybe even bracket 4. What's the CEDH scene like for Bernard?
That's a great question.
I'll make it into a powerful deck. Honestly, I can make it into bracket 2 or 3 right now because we're level 11 right there, and let's just hit like level 15, make it bracket 4.
Yes.
Level 20, make it a bracket 5.
As we progress through our campaign, Bernard deck gets stronger and stronger.
Every session I add in 2 more cards. I like swap out 2 cards for like upgrades.
Yeah, we just leveled up this session, so now you can store spells in your cookies.
I'm gonna store spells in muffins and my cookies and my pastries. Yeah.
I am really glad that Wizards of the Coast has such a great team. I don't know how to feel about Hasbro, but I think that you, me, and many others have really creative minds and can turn these little artwork scenes and almost computer code mechanics from this game into this imagination playground where we get to really express ourselves and bend ideas and patterns to make these really cool stories and to make a game out of it.
Exactly. I think there's a lot of potential for just doing something very like it's like a creative like gymnastics routine where you have to like just figure out how things work in this way because there's a big in Wizards of the Coast design team there's a conundrum called the elephant in the boots where you have lightning greaves. How do you equip them to your 3/3 elephant that you made? How does an
Yes.
elephant wear boots? Like, are they magic boots that like get bigger? But what they resolved to just decide is just don't worry about it. The function should always trump the flavor, but I think this just allows for a sillier magic storytelling. Like magic is getting pretty silly. And so I think they can lean into like the silly fantasy aspect of it, like more like the tonal consistency of magic I kind of want to see it at is that scene in Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban where they have all like the boggarts that turn into your fear and Ron's is a giant spider that he like has to spell and roller skates just pop onto it. And like the spider's freaking scary. Like the CGI is really great. But then like it just suddenly gets roller skates and just kind of skates away.
He got Swiftfoot boots.
You got Swiftfoot boots. It's the spider and the roller skates. And that's the
Yeah.
type of vibe I think Magic the Gathering should adopt more of. I think it could be silly, but I think it needs to take itself seriously silly, you know? That's where
Yes.
a lot of good humor comes from. It's from either because like right now they're playing it kind of like the hey get it and wink at the camera. It's like a sitcom like setup punchline, but it's always better when you just don't acknowledge the camera. We know it's silly. We know it's stupid. We don't need people to tell us that. We just
Yes.
gotta let it just kind of sit with.
They gotta be more confident that what they're putting out is silly and not need everyone else to be in on it.
Exactly. Listen, we all know a joke card. When we see a joke card, we laugh about it. But at the same time, it's like, are you telling a joke card because you think it's gonna sell well, or do you think it's just because it's actually funny? Or like I think like a holy cow.
I do love Holy Cow, another great Thunder Junction card.
So many great Thunder Junction cards, but that's just a card that's like too silly in my book.
Yeah,
Like I think
need
that's
a
just too on the nose of like, oh, you made a card that's just
it's Holy Cow.
it's a literal holy cow. Wow.
It's a cow
Very
angel.
funny. Anyway, I will plummet holy cow.
Jump Scare was another
Mm-hmm.
one that's kind of like that, where you play it and the picture's upside down, so your opponent goes, oh.
Ooh. Yeah. Exactly. There's a lot of silly cards like that, but Dustborn had a lot more of like they definitely toned it down in the last year. I think they kind of realized just how I'd even think in like development they were like this is maybe a little too much. They saw like kind of the backlash that was going towards that because Magic players no matter what will cause backlash
Oh,
with
absolutely.
every decision, but like we're getting a lot more things that aren't universes beyond. We're getting a lot more serious interpretations of like we just saw had Edge of Eternities, which was a very serious
The first
space set.
in-universe space set that is particularly invested in the sci-fi version, like sci-fi side of fantasy that is not just war or like Brothers War or maybe a Fallout or Universes Beyond. It is something that was the lands were beautiful, the story was driven on a very particular plot. Like there was no jokes, no jump scare, no holy cow. It was a really well done set that I think a lot of new players could get behind.
Yeah, I know, and that's how I feel about Tarkir Dragonstorm as well. Like I'm looking through, I'm trying to find if there's like a card that's like just very on the nose, supposed to be a joke, and it looks like everything's pretty well hidden. Like everything is just very chill and very cool, and it's very like it takes itself seriously, which is what you want. Like a fan, we already know it's a fantasy world. We're not going to believe that. So we could create a world that's just fun and interesting that you like and if you're appreciative of, you don't need to make jokes about it. Like you don't need to make like the all the cowboy jokes and all the tropes of like a western. You can just make like a cool western world. Like
Yes. I would love a cool Western world that expanded more on the plant people and the culture and what it's like to be there and the problems that they're facing, and not just a convoluted heist.
Exactly. I think we need a little bit. We need to go back to Thunder Junction. They do that right because, but even then, like, for all the praise we give Wizards for like recently doing it, Aether Drift was very much a silly set.
It for sure was. Wacky Racers, Red Line, Cars.
Yeah, it was just a lot there that didn't resonate with me. Didn't resonate with a lot of players. Unfortunately, there's some cool cards in there, but not a lot of. But I don't care too much for like the story about it. I didn't want the return to Avishkar and Amonkhet to be like this. I wanted us to go back there and take it a little bit more like interestingly, because these are two planes that were like the last time we checked in on Amonkhet, it was destroyed by Nicol Bolas. Like an entire generation was brainwashed, and everyone older than that was killed. There's new gods that have emerged, old gods that have died, and it's just like this really serious world, and it's like this really dark realm. And then it's just like, oh, but hold on, there's a highway going through it now. Let's focus on the highway part of that.
The thing I like most about Aether Drift has nothing to do with the set. I love that we now have gas station magic cards. I can walk into Quick Check and see they have Dragon Ball, Magic the Gathering, and Pokemon, but specifically the one about driving around on the highway. Yeah, let me get
They'll
some
just have
vehicles.
Aether Drift packs anywhere these days.
Yeah, they don't care where it shows up. That's the silliest part for me.
It's always right. It's always around the corner. It's always when you least expect it.
Yes.
Well, thank you so much for joining me today on the ScrubPod podcast, Derek. It was a real pleasure talking to you about Dungeons and Dragons, shovels, Aether Drift, everything under the sun.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to go home and throw together this shovel deck.
And stay tuned for next week for the next episode of ScrubPod podcast. Thank you so much for listening. Have a wonderful day.
Bye.